Lock the doors.
I can't believe I'm on time.
Okay, 5. Welcome to the select board meeting for Tuesday, May 16th. I'm Bill Taylor. This is Bill Kennedy, fellow select board member. This is Nicole McStay and Allie Kreutz, town administrator and assistant to the town administrator. We have the chief here. We have newly started officer Sophia Reichl with us, and some other assorted townspeople. With that, we are starting with a public hearing looking to accept donations from the French and Indian War and Revolutionary War Memorial. We will be introduced to Sophia. And then the rec committee request for funds from the Transportation Improvement Capital Reserve Fund for installation of some bike racks. That's it.
We should also note that Tyler's extends his apologies for not being here. He's at a graduation in New York City.
Yeah, we all noticed that Tyler wasn't here probably. And all of our viewing audience on TV. So I guess far away with that
So
one.
if you would like to open the public hearing pursuant to RSA 31:95-B, the acceptance of unanticipated monies.
So moved.
I second.
Okay, thank you. Following your, the meeting in April where you were presented with the proposed plaque to commemorate the soldiers who mustered from Peterborough to fight in the French and Indian War and the Revolutionary War, some anonymous donors took it upon themselves to bequest the town with $2,000 and $500 respectively. So the town would not have to use tax funds in order to put these memorials in place.
Now, that's not sufficient to pay for the entire.
But that, along with what is in the Peterborough general purposes capital reserve fund or expendable trust fund, I can't remember which, will be enough to cover the cost of fabrication and installation.
I can't imagine anybody who keeps track of all of our trust funds, capital reserves, and so on and so forth. Great.
We're speaking against this request, but if anybody would like to say anything in regards to this. Allison?
Well, no, I'm just curious as to where it's going to be erected.
So in the memorial wall right outside of the townhouse where we have the memorials to the other wars, or the soldiers who fought in the other wars, it'll be on one of the pillars, so
Okay.
it'll be kind of on the inside. It'll fit in pretty nicely once it's been put up.
I think the target date is next fall.
It'll be, yeah, there's some time that it takes to fabricate it before it'll be ready for erection. But John Kaufhold's given a quote. He said that the quote is still good, so.
Okay.
What do you say? Want to move that we accept that unanticipated money?
Sure, we'll shoot it back and forth. I'll make the motion.
I'll second it. Here concludes our public hearing.
All those in favor? Aye. All right.
Next, Chief.
Yes, thank you. I'm here tonight to formally introduce newest member of the department, Officer Sophia Reichl. Sophia is filling the vacancy that was created when we moved Officer Highland into the high school as the school resource officer. Sophia applied with us back in August of '22, went through a comprehensive testing process. She did quite well. We hired her at the end of September. She started the police academy in January of this year and graduated at the end of April of this year. Out of a class of 53 state, local, and county officers, Sophia finished 15 out of 53 with an academic grade point average of 91.03, so she did quite well. We're pleased to have her on board. She's in week 2 now of her field training with one of the field training officers. So I'll let Sophia tell you a little bit about herself. And
Yeah.
if you have any questions.
Thank you, Chief.
I'm Sophia Reichl. I'm from a pretty big family. I'm one of 12, number 10 down the bottom. I was homeschooled fit all of those stereotypes, pretty awkward, pretty shy. I kind of always wanted to be a police officer. I didn't start seriously considering it until I was like 16, I think. At that time, I decided I want to seriously start pursuing it, so I joined the dual enrollment program at Nashua Community College. So you could do college classes while you're in high school, pretty much. So I started their criminal justice program when I was 16. I graduated in 2020 from there with associates in science in their criminal justice program. In that same fall, August 2020, I transferred to St. Anselm College and enrolled in their Bachelor of Arts program for criminal justice. And I went through their whole, all their classes they have, and graduated just last year in 2022, the Bachelor of Arts in criminal justice. And I started applying to police departments. I applied to Nashua first, then I came here and took their physical test and written test in September, and I had a lot of great interviews with the sergeant, the detective, and then with the chief at the end, and I accepted a job offer and prepared for the police academy in January. And that was, when I started that was a pretty big culture shock. I think it was not like anything I've ever experienced before. Like I said, I was homeschooled, led a pretty sheltered life, so it was a rude awakening for sure. But I'd like to think that it changed me as a person. I think for the better. It made me more confident and ready to take control in a situation. I learned a lot of really great skills for sure. There's so many new classes they have in the academy that a lot of previous classes didn't have available to them. So I'm thankful for that. And so I graduated April 28th, just 2 weeks ago, and started field training 2 weeks ago.
Well, we are super happy and thankful for you joining us. Are you sure you applied to Nashua too, or was it just Peterborough?
I did apply to Nashua first.
Yes.
I think it was a better option for me to start here, though. I think Nashua's pretty big.
It is.
Yeah.
But
Nashua's
when
pretty big.
you say stuff like, for me to start here, that's a trigger word for us, because that almost means
That's
looking to go somewhere else.
That's not what I meant.
You'll probably decide later on that you're staying here forever.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Do you live local?
I do. I actually moved to Peterborough in October. I live with my brother right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good.
I'm from Brookline, right on
Okay.
the Mass border.
Right.
Well, had you not been homeschooled, you probably would have gone to school with my daughter who went to Hallsbrook. But, guess we missed that connection. Well, thank you very much. Thanks, Chief.
All right, you're very welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
All
Thank
set?
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
What's up, Chief? Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet
Give
you.
us your voice.
Okay.
I'm asking for money again.
Yep, here they are. I'm assuming you got the capital reserve fund correct on this?
I think we do.
Okay, good.
Would you care for us to read the language of the RSA to you?
No.
Okay. So what do you need from us? You have the same document that we do, right?
Yeah, just explain it.
All right. So do you want to start?
So the bike parking in Peterborough is kind of strewn around, sometimes hidden in weird places, and sometimes the type of rack that we currently have is not suitable for a lot of bikes. Like they're the wheel-only kind, so you can't safely lock a frame to it. It doesn't hold all kinds of bikes. So we're looking for $12,500 to install 10 of the U-style racks, like the new ones at the library, because those you can securely lock any size or style of bike by the frame and the wheel safely. And we have 10 locations And mind, you wanna read that?
Sure, yeah, so we consulted with Danica and Seth and Tim indirectly about what would be involved and so forth. You know, we actually started with the idea of the, you know, the Riverwalk parking lot, like, it's got e-charging stations, but no bike racks. So anyway, but then beyond that, so one at Cunningham Pond, and then, we don't have this in these notes, but there was a little distinction between if you installing it into pavement or if you are doing it into dirt.
Right,
But
that's part of the
that's-
cost,
yeah,
is
that's
like
gotten
when you have
factored
to
in.
put the
Yeah.
concrete
Yeah.
installation. for that.
So Cunningham Pond, the community center, parking lot for the common pathway on Summer Street. Ideally, in the future, we'll have also bike repair stations, the way the Jaffrey Rail Trail does, but really the important thing is locks. Adams Playground, that's replacing one of the old movable racks outside the PRC. Oh, Zoe calls it the spoke twisters, replacing one of the spoke twisters there now. Okay. Parking lot behind the theater, so sort of Depot Square. And this one we're not requesting right now, but we mentioned that, so there's one at Texera Park, but there could be more in West Pete. And that would be, that's subject to the Parks Committee. And I've talked to Pete Crisel, I can never say his name, but it was on the West Pete TIF thing, and they have some interest. So that could be expansion, but this is what we want for right now. And the one at the Riverwalk here, 3 more have been purchased for that, but that's coming through the downtown TIF. So that's different funding stream. So this is just the one from the Capital Reserve Fund for the Transportation Improvement Capital Reserve Fund for bicycle and pedestrian improvements.
That's the $5 fee that we pay.
That's right.
Now, let me ask you something. Where are these bike racks going to be located in the Riverwalk Park?
In the parking lot?
Yeah.
I don't
Is
know
there
if
some
we,
reason why people would ride their bikes to the parking lot?
Oh,
I do that all the time.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
In the parking lot? You don't.
To the parking lot by the river, and then you
Yeah,
go over the
park
bridge to
there and
Depot
then you walk
Square.
into Depot Square.
Tons of
I
people
just-
would do that.
If you're gonna
Like
bike
you said,
downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, riding into Depot Square is not easy.
Yeah.
There's no
Park
parking.
right there, boom, and then go over, just the way the cars do.
Could we locate one at least next to the EV charging stations? Because if people have e-bikes, they might want to charge them while they're in
Yeah.
town?
Yeah, you can't plug in there. They're not standard outlets. You have to have a special bike outlet.
Oh, the bikes don't use the same convention? No.
Of course not. Nothing uses the same convention. Like, remember cell phone cables?
It is a nice idea to put it next to the
Yeah, that would be
e-charging
good,
though, as
yeah.
like an alternative transportation.
Or next to the
Parking
bike,
area.
the bus shelter. That would be another-
Or the shelter,
another
yeah.
good spot.
Yeah, but I don't know if we,
We never
We didn't
got involved
choose
in
that,
that. This would,
yeah.
we sort of are leaving that to Danica and Seth and Tim.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we could advise, but I think, so we can pass that on. It's a good idea.
That parking lot's probably a pretty good idea if we're thinking about a bus showing up here at some point,
Yeah,
which was the plan.
yeah.
We just have, COVID stopped that, much like it stopped a whole bunch of other stuff, but I'm sure a lot of people would want to ride their bikes to get on a bus to go
Yeah.
somewhere.
And people might even depending on the kind of bus, people could transport bikes on a bus to come biking here. In many cities and countries, that's a standard thing. You just put your bike on the front of the bus and
Right.
take it off when you get there.
Yes.
Janica's comment on this proposal, she's not here tonight, she's at a conference, so she just wanted me to add in that I'd like to pass along the message that their goal of more bike racks aligns with what we know the community is currently asking for, and that all locations they are proposing are outside of the greater downtown TIF except for the Riverwalk parking lot, and they have all been approved by Seth as being practical locations.
Now, can we use TIF funds in order to fund this?
For the ones that are within TIF districts, yes.
So the West Peterborough should be the TIF.
Yes, you just need to go through the TIF committee.
So we don't have to use these funds for that particular?
No, we're sort of putting that as a future
Yeah, that's a future.
wish.
And it would be it has to be a near future expansion
Yeah.
because that's getting ready to sunset. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanna hurry up
Oh,
on
that's
that.
true, that's right, sunsetting next year.
Well, then to that point, if their TIF money, if their West Pete TIF money doesn't cover it, then why shouldn't we come back for this fund for
In the
that.
future, yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, the money is there, it's just
Yes.
timing.
Yeah.
You need to make the request before the TIF district sunsets. After it's sunset, we can't do anything for new improvements
Yeah.
with that money. That money can only be put towards improvements that already exist
And when does it sunset?
next year, end of the fiscal
Because I
year.
think Pete told me that their next TIF district meeting is in June or July, sometime.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because they've got a big project, the last big project will be coming through. So it's a good time to work with Danica and get it on their agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, get it on the advisory agenda, and then the EDA has to approve it as well.
Yeah.
So,
Wait a minute,
and
what's
the
your
EDA
what-
is,
The TIF district advisory committee?
Yeah,
Yes. So we'll need to get on their agenda. Just work with Danica to get it on their
Okay.
agenda.
the EDA doesn't meet very often either, so Danica, I'm sure, has the schedule.
okay, so what's the order of operations in terms of the EDA?
Talk to
and
the advisory committee first and get approval from them. They then pass it along to the EDA, and the EDA then approves it and passes it along to us, and then we,
So who's on the advisory committee?
let's see, Jerry
Gallus.
Gallus. It's on the website, but
Me? Am I on the West Peterborough one?
yes, you are.
Okay. And Sophia.
I'm on the.
So if I go to the Town of Peterborough page, where am I gonna find this?
You better off just calling Danica.
Yeah,
Hold
yeah.
on.
Unless you're
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
about
because-
sending out cookies or
Hold
something.
on, hold on.
Danica does handle the agenda and.
Of all the TIF
invitations and all that
districts
kind of
and the
stuff,
advisories too?
Yes.
All right,
so it's best to work through her.
okay, we can do that.
Well, for the record, I've been following along with this with the rec committee.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
So I guess, yeah, we're just simply asking for you to approve the expenditure of the funds from that. Yes.
Right.
Not to be used for, and to designate the Board of Selectmen as agents to expend. You're the agents to expend.
Yeah, we are.
We like that.
Well, I'd move that we grant the request for funds from the Transportation Improvement Capital Reserve Fund for the installation of 10 bike racks.
I second that, and also I'm glad that we didn't spend money at town meeting.
This is actually.
Oh, yeah, no, we knew this wasn't a town meeting. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh,
The fund.
well, the other fund.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, settles that.
Okay. Thank you.
And if you would like to move to go into non-public session pursuant to 91A dash, or 91-A, colon 3, Roman numeral 2, small d, discuss a real estate matter.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
In favor, aye.
Aye.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
There we go.
Select Board.
I'd like to check the records and see if that was a record time for a meeting.
Could I be
Oh.
added to the next meeting agenda?
We'll have to clear with Ally.
That's me. Ally, could I be added to the agenda, please, and let me know when that is?
To discuss something in particular?
Yeah, I want to discuss something that was presented to, I think this was started in April by Jimmy Smith and the Coffels, as far as, and it's fully privately funded, but it is a proposal for a monument, and they're trying to find a place to place it.
We got a
And-
letter from.
You did
Jimmy
receive the
spelling it
letter.
out, and yes,
Okay.
we're not prepared to discuss it tonight.
No, but that's why I wanted to be put on the agenda. And the understanding is that no monuments or memorials are allowed in Peterborough parks, so an alternate place, and I wondered possibly, just to throw this out, if the community center might be a proper place.
You would actually need to speak with the Recreation Committee first, because they maintain the community center.
Okay, but that's not considered a park?
No, it's not,
Okay.
no.